Three now. All three should be live. Hello, friends. How's everyone doing? We're gonna get people in slowly but surely. Yeah, like Facebook, people will always jump on Facebook much faster. Bam.
Yeah. Facebook's most populated for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's get this party started. Whoops. All right. Yeah. Well, how's your guys' weekend? Let's just start off with just talking to you two. Right now we
My
got
weekend was good, man.
John, and then we got Nick. And then John said his weekend was good. That's cool. I'm glad to hear that you had a good weekend.
Mine was pretty cool. I went to the Anime Expo for Saturday, and then we spent Sunday at Universal. So.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. That's gross.
What did you guys do at Universal? Just ride rides?
Yeah, and we took the studio tour on the tram, and they had the 3D VR thing, or the 360 3D.
Which is it, man? Which is it, dog?
There's so many numbers and letters.
The 360 VR VHS Blu-ray HD DVD edition, man. It was
all
dope.
of that.
My brother was at Universal Studios.
The same weekend?
Yeah.
What if they sat next to each other and they had no idea?
Probably did.
That they were connected in ways that they would have ever known. Yeah, what if Nick spilled his drink on Paul?
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, who are you? Yeah, you look familiar."
How'd you know it was Paul?
Because Paul is not afraid of leaving Barstow. that's how I know.
All right.
And
Yeah, it's cool.
And he's got money. Go ahead.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just was talking over you unintentionally.
I remember what I did.
You don't remember at all? You was just an empty shell, just sitting in the bed like the.
I went to the art. That's right. I went to the art walk in Santa Ana. Hung out over there.
All right.
Pretty cool.
That's cool. That's great. So you guys did some cool stuff. I just hung out, just learning some programming and watching a baby grow, which is always exciting. I love the little dude, but he's tough. He's a tough cookie. He does not like us to sleep. He's like, "Wait, are they sleeping? Y'all better wake up!"
Right now.
Huh?
They look real peaceful right now. It'd be a shame if something were to wake you up.
Exactly. That's what he says. I heard him say that, and I was like, "Wait, what? How are you sentient already?" Yeah. So
we got Bomber here. We got Bomber.
Oh, always got Bomber. What's up, friend?
Got your mic, buddy?
Can everybody hear us okay on the streams? Let's double check. Oh my God, Photoshop. Get your act together.
Good. I think I'm platform.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's working. It's working fine. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna make this brush now. Wish me luck. So first things first, we need to pick the brush that I originally made. It's weird. It's gonna be weird for you guys because you guys can't see what I'm doing. I mean, unless you go watch the stream, but it's delayed, so it's even doubly weird. But yeah, if anybody wants to ask questions, if you look on the banner, you'll see it says "Ask Questions." Go to robotpencil.net stream chat. In fact,
I'll link it for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my tablet's weird. So if you go to the stream chat,
isn't that in the banner?
Bam. It is.
So these are questions that have been collected from last streams too, right?
I think some of these. I'm not sure which ones are old. I think I might have answered all these already.
Okay. So there's the link. You guys go ahead and use to direct yourself to ask questions there. I know somebody asked about some mentorships that are already preparing their questions.
I think these ones I haven't got yet, so I already copied them. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all the others, and then just grab these ones and just say it. Yeah. Oh, I didn't separate them at all. Didn't separate them at all. This is gonna be one continuous thing. Right where it says "Hey Anthony," that's where it separates. I'll try to remember that.
And there's a little bit of a, like somebody, I think it's through Bummer. But if you could mute your mic or something, there's a little feedback coming through Bummer.
Win. He's always listening through his speakers. That's why. Like a chump.
I muted it.
Go get your headphone.
Yeah. If you're gonna do hang out on these streams, yo, you better like get to the high tech Logitech headsets, homie. So that way we don't have to deal with your speakers. You're just as bad as Kalen. Kalen does the same thing. He listens to the speakers super loud. And he's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And I'm like, hey. I'm like, dude. He's like, "What?"
I can never figure out how to like get the headset not to give feedback because it's really weird. Everything I hear, everybody else hears, even if I mute my mic.
Oh, that's something that John was dealing with for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, the more you stream, the more you hang out and stuff, the more you realize what needs to be muted. It just comes with practice, man.
I think it's just you. Just need to be muted entirely.
Yeah.
Always. All right. Okay, let's see what I can do with this. Let's dual brush this. You said Cannon's in here? Yeah, Cannon's gonna come over. There's too many Cannons. I'm talking about there's white Cannon, there's black Cannon. White Cannon is white, and black Cannon is black. So I'm assuming you're saying Cannon Ray, right? He's gonna come over tomorrow, barbecue. We're gonna do 4th of July's pool party. If it stays as hot, we'll see. You know how that global warming sneaks up on you.
Why wasn't I invited?
Huh?
Why wasn't I invited?
Oh, you know why. Because you look weird.
Mm.
Every time we hit the take you places, people are like, "Why is that guy hanging out with them? He's weird looking."
Mm. Yeah. Makes sense.
Good reasons.
Wait, is John the only other white guy you know?
I think so. I think I only know 2 white people.
I'm definitely not white.
Yeah, Nick's definitely not. He sounds like he might have a hint of white in him, but he's not. All right, I think this is good. I think this is good to start painting. So anyway, hello everybody. Hope everyone's having a good time hanging out. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming a monster. I'm gonna be painting a monster, and during that time, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm gonna talk about movies. I wrote it in a thing, so let's talk about it. So there's a lot of movies that have been coming out. I'm not sure if you guys have seen any of them. Like, have you guys seen any movie recently? If so, what movies?
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Nice.
I saw Glow.
Glow. What?
Yeah.
What the heck's Glow?
Really good Netflix show. It's a movie show.
Movie show, huh?
Yeah.
Wait, is it a show or is it a movie?
It's a movie show.
What the?
It's a TV movie.
Yeah. But it's good. It's really good. I like it.
So wait, what do you mean it's a movie show? Like it's just a TV movie? Like what I'm saying? Like it's just because it's on Netflix?
Yeah. I mean, movie theaters. I've watched that. If you're considering movie theaters.
No, let's define that. Let's define movie. I think movie needs to be redefined. I don't think it needs to be a theater experience anymore. I would say like a closed, contained thing that takes the span of an hour and a half to 2 hours, or maybe even longer. You know how those Peter Jacksons go. That's not intentionally sequential, right? Because you know how those Peter Jacksons go.
Oh, that quality's getting there, man. On Netflix too.
So yeah, so I assume Glow is a movie. Is what I'm trying to get at. So you saw that? Yeah. Okay. What else? What else you guys see? Like Wednesday, you saw Wonder Woman. Yeah, I haven't seen that. My wife went and saw that with our daughter. They loved it.
I enjoyed it.
It is the best DC movie yet.
Yeah, I wonder if that makes it a good movie, right? Like I haven't seen it, so I can't be objective about this at all. So I have to just base off of what you guys have experienced.
I think it's a difference between being good and the best DC movie. But as far as like all the superhero movies out there right now, it's definitely a good movie on
Okay,
its own.
so even considering all the really great like hero movies, it's like it stands its own. So that's
Yeah,
really good to hear.
like
That's great to hear on like lots of levels. Look, one, because DC has been like they clearly have not been paying attention.
Oh yeah, Okja.
Right?
Okja. Have you heard of Okja?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
Maybe.
it probably tonight while
It's
I'm
really
trying to
good.
take care of the baby. We'll see.
They did it really good with the animation, how
Yeah.
it interacts with the environments and stuff. And it's crazy. I can't imagine how like what they had to go through to make it look so realistic.
Yeah,
They did a
so-
really good job thus far. So
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I've seen that it's doing really well. What else was I
I
going to
haven't
say? I was saying
completed
something.
it yet,
Oh yeah.
but I started watching it.
So the Wonder Woman thing, right? Like, so I'm thinking like, oh my little baby, he's gonna get some food right now. He's like, you guys trying to do a stream? How dare you? How dare you? So like the Wonder Woman thing, right? Like Joanna was saying, like he's saying that even as a film on its own, right? It's doing like good, and that's great to hear on multiple fronts. Well, one of the first ones is because for whatever reason, I'm not sure if this is a thing or not. I actually have no real opinion on this or chokehold on this, but basically, like they've been hardly making female superhero films, right? And I
Yeah.
think a lot of this because of the fear that might not do well, which is I understand at some level, but that's why you just got to keep doing them until you figure it out, all right? And I mean, we've had lots of opportunities, male-driven hero movies, right? Like pretty much every single one is primarily that, and so you have characters like, for instance, Black Widow, I believe, from the Marvel universe, which seems like she should already have a movie by now, right? She's been in like the Marvel franchise for quite a while, like prominently in lots of these films, and she's a great character in a lot of these films, and yet there's no like really cool Black Widow movie. And like I said,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
should
know.
watch Globe. It's kind of got a little take on the females' perspective of like acting and how they're kind of broken pieces of material. Not in terms of acting, but the way people see it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and so it's good to hear is all I'm trying to get at. That's one of the fronts that I think is really nice. And the other one I think I started off of, which was the idea that DC has been doing such a bad job, man. Like they've been making their movies, and their movies sell, but I think they know they're not selling as a product of them being good films. I think they're being sold because people want them to be good, right? People are big fans of these IPs, and they want it to be amazing, and they haven't been as amazing.
Do you know anything about what Glow is?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's about like female wrestlers, and
I've seen the little trailer for it.
Okay, yeah, it takes place in like the 70s or I think
Yeah,
the
yeah.
80s actually.
No, I know exactly
You know,
what you're talking about now. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
it's really cool.
Just so you know, I don't think they can afford Scarlett Johansson at this point for her
Oh,
own
man.
movie. Because like she earned as much as Chris Evans in all the movies. So imagine that. If they gave her own movie, she's gonna be out of control.
Yeah, I don't
Consider that.
see why that's an argument worth having, because they can just they'll make that money back. I mean, she's a rock star, man. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I understand that. I think it's more from Marvel. Like they don't want to do it because of how much she's already earning.
Yeah, it's not a good excuse. I'm not buying it. They have too much money.
They have like all of the
Yeah,
money in the world. They can afford that.
it'll be what if you were saying that like with DC, like I would say yeah, maybe not, right? Because DC can't take any more gambles, right? Like they have to like really dial it in. They're really hoping on this Wonder Woman to
I
do a
mean,
decent.
they still have time. So
Yeah, and then
always
so
gonna have a legend.
yeah, and so like if this if if it was DC or even any other kind of studio that didn't have like like because there's just so many things against that argument, right? Like for instance, um, not only do they have like a lot of money, right? They have a lot of backing. They're supported by many different factors. Like they're Disney's got their pack, Lucasfilm, ILM, right? Like they got the resources. And then next, on top of the resources and having all that, and the finances, like the next thing would be that they've made this character not an obscure character, right? Like people know who she is. She's an iconic character, you know. It's like Wonder Woman's running off of iconic for days from just the comic books and the franchise, and it did well mostly because of that. But like Black Widow has none of that going for her. If it was just like if Black Widow was never around, is what I'm trying to get at, and they were just like, let's make a Black Widow film, people would be like, what? Who the hell is Black Widow? Right? It's kind of like with Daredevil, right? Like a lot of people are just like, what? Who's Daredevil? Like I know, like comic book people will be like, of course, who they know who Daredevil is, but most people just don't, right? So it made sense to kind of like take it to like Netflix first, and then to be like, yeah, let's do Jessica Jones, another like obscure character like Luke Cage, like all these like secondary characters that actually are pretty big in the Marvel universe, but just most people just don't know them. Like they're not like Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Or like Wolverine. So it makes perfect sense if it was like that was going against it, but that's not even going against it. Like she's literally in like 80% of the films,
I have a
Like,
question for you, AJ.
what's up?
What was your favorite movie that you got to experience so far with Delilah?
Oh, we saw a lot of movies, but I think it was fun to watch. We went and watched Doctor Strange together. That was fun.
That's cool.
She thought it was great. I thought it was amazing. I love Doctor Strange. And then Bea this morning, actually, she was watching it. She didn't want to watch it because she's not into that stuff. But then Delilah was like, "Oh, Doctor Strange, me and Daddy watched that. Let's watch it again." And then she's like, "All right, I guess I'll watch it." And as she was watching it, she was just like, "This is good." And so
I think
she kept on watching.
she's at a good age to watch E.T. Honestly, like if try watching E.T. with her, she'll love it.
All right, we'll see.
Watch that with her.
What were you saying?
Huh?
What were you saying? You watched that with what? Olivia?
Yeah, Olivia.
Yeah.
Such a good experience, man. She was like, she's never seen anything like that. Just excited. Excited.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I saw the latest Transformers movie. Yeah.
How was that?
I've heard a lot of weird mixed bag things about it.
It's Transformers.
Yeah,
That's it.
There's a giant set of robots transforming. Man, I loved the first act. Fell asleep in the second act, and then loved the third act.
I didn't even finish watching the second act. No, the third. Yeah.
Of the latest movie, the one that just came out.
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one that just came out.
Oh, the act itself. Okay, I thought you were talking about.
No, I'm talking about the latest, the last night, I think it is, or the first night.
I haven't seen that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I went and saw it, and because I'm a huge Transformers fan. Like I loved the cartoons. I've loved the toys when I was a kid. I even love the movies very much. I think the movie's great. Most of them. Not there's moments and parts that are just not good. I think like the latest Transformers movie, the one with the dinosaurs before this one, actually, the one before. I don't think I finished it entirely just because it was just so long. And that's the kind of thing that like blows my mind. Is like these movies are just so long now. Like this Transformers movie is 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I fell asleep in the second act, because the second act is just like
I honestly think it's better to
exposition.
watch a. I think it's better to watch a Netflix show and just be able to continue it, stop, stop for a moment and go like take care of life and then come back 30 minutes. Like watch 30 minutes and then go and then come back.
Yeah, you know what? I think
4 hours
Transformers
later.
could benefit from just being a segmented.
Yeah, I totally agree with
Because
that.
it's just like they're just trying to shove so much down your throat. I'm like,
Exactly.
I actually have no idea what the movie is about even. Like it was just
That's-
so much, so
watched the whole
much
thing?
stuff. Yeah,
You watched
just
That's where we're at though in terms of.
yeah, watch the whole thing. Yeah, and like that's what I'm trying to say is like the whole time I was just kind of like, what is going on? And the beginning of the movie, I thought it was great. It was funny. It was charming. It was very much like what the Transformers movies were in the very beginning. But then it just gets like they just like try to explain way too much.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, dude, like you have to understand that I'm here, dude. Already. Hey, Michael Bay, I'm here already, man. I'm here, and all I
You're
want to
like,
see.
do what you always do. Explosion.
Yeah, I just want you. I want to see you do you, boo. Just do you, boo. Stop pulling this Pearl Harbor on us, man. No one likes it. Like Pearl Harbor, as in like the movie that he did, where like the first hour and a half of the film pretty much was just this weird kind of romance story that I can tell you nobody really cared for. And then the sad part, the unfortunate part, is the best part of the movie is the attack on Pearl Harbor, which is historically true. Like it actually, we got attacked, right? And it sucks. But that is like the most exciting moment in the whole movie. Is just like when we were getting attacked and murdered, and it was really,
I'm really
it was
excited
really
to see
awesome.
Dunkirk is probably the one that I'm looking forward to most right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, this looks tight, and I feel like it could be, like depending on how they approach the acting skills and like the whole situation, what kind of stories derived. Probably, I hope they capture a good story here, and I believe they will.
Yeah, I think Dunkirk looks good. Yeah, I'm really excited about what other movie that was coming out that I saw that looks pretty cool. Oh, Valerian.
Spider-Man's this weekend.
Yeah,
Valerian's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Did you say
we'll see.
Shadow Man?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Oh.
Shadow
Imagine
Man.
if they had a Shadow Man movie. Damn, that would be a trip.
What?
Anybody
Try it.
play Shadow Man? Nintendo 64.
No, I didn't.
I
John,
don't even know what that is.
you're just like
Inexperienced.
bringing up the most obscure topics. Like, what are you talking about, John?
Hey,
I feel like John is Transformers the first night.
go check out Shadow Man.
Embodied. This right now. Like I feel like you're embodied
If
Transformers.
there's somebody that has played Shadow Man,
I gotta look it up
No.
now because I don't know what it is.
it's intense. It's
I
like
just want
I only
everyone
got
to
so
say
far.
no, so we can point and laugh at John.
I
That's
know,
all I
that'd
want.
be weird.
Yeah,
But it's like a dream world nightmare.
Yeah, I don't recognize this.
My brother is here. I know Paul. Paul knows what I'm talking about. He played it on a most recent device called his smartphone. And
Whoa.
yeah, he got a controller and it's just like he figured out how to.
he played Shadow Man on his controller
Yeah, somehow.
or on his phone, like just now.
Not just now, but like,
Oh, I was like, what? Like how? What a crazy coincidence that you just thought
Hi, dude,
Nick
just
said
play.
Shadow Man when he said Spider Man, and then your brother happened to be playing Shadow Man.
I think it was a good segue.
Yeah.
there. Yeah, somebody realized what it is, or he's like, "Yeah, I remember it. My mom don't want to buy it for me." Back in the day.
I think Valerian looks cool. Baby Driver, that looks really dope. Edgar Wright's pretty good. I like him. I don't think he'll do bad. But like after watching Transformers in the theater, it made me think like, yeah, I don't think theater, like watching movies in the theater is a thing anymore unless you have like
Crazy, right?
like a family, or if you got like a mega franchise coming out, right? Like something that the type of movie, if you haven't seen it, bro, like what have you been doing, living under a rock type of thing, you know? But like your Forrest Gumps or what have you, they're just not going to exist in the theaters, or they're not going to survive as well as they would if they were like a Netflix
Hmm.
movie. Um, like Glow, for instance, is a good example. I'm sure. Like I don't think
Yeah.
that would have done well in the theaters, not because it's a bad flick, but just because uh, it's just people aren't
Well,
going
that is
to cop
mainstream.
up. Yeah, people aren't going to get up and go watch a film like that. They'd rather watch it from their home. And I'm not trying to say that's a sad turn of events. I'm saying that's actually nice because watching stuff from home is kind of convenient, and going out
Cheaper.
should and it's way cheaper. And going out should be worthwhile. Like it should be like a thing, right? Like when we went to go see Star Wars, for instance, like that was great. Like going to watch it, even if you didn't like it or whatever, or even if you loved it, it didn't
I'll,
matter. It was just like a
I'll tell
whole
you.
experience.
I'll tell you what trips me out. Okay, is I used to go to
Uh-oh.
Irvine and spend
Uh-oh.
a dollar at the movie theater, $1 movie theater, which was amazing. And I was just like, these are movies that are like probably 3 months in, after being played, maybe longer. But these are movies that have been shown, and are filtering through, just the cheaper crowd, But I think going to that dollar theater, I was just like, that was great. But now I have called Flex. Are you Flex?
John?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Are you familiar with Plex? Plex?
No, man.
Yeah, Plex is awesome. It's like, it's got like all these movies that go filtering to those dollar theaters, just being played basically here instead of Netflix.
Wait,
Check out
what?
Plex. Plex, Plex.
Yeah, but what's the difference? I don't understand what you're trying to get at.
It's just really good. Like, they have like all the new movies that are released, and they're going straight there instead of to Netflix. Yet, yes, like Netflix buys them later, but Plex
Yeah.
is starting to become its own thing.
Oh, I see. It's just like one step removed before it's
Yeah.
completely Netflixed. Yeah, that dollar
But,
theater place is still around.
yeah, and it's great.
It is
I
nice.
enjoyed spending my money there. For it.
Yeah,
But I enjoy spending my money at a theater as well with friends. It's all about the experience together too, just being able to talk about it and stuff.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like movie experiences should now be accompanied with like movie and a dinner type of thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think the next big movie we should like plan it as like not just like we go and then we part ways after, like normally what we would do.
Yeah.
We should like make it like we go watch the movie and then afterwards we go get like drinks and hang out and talk
Mhm.
about it. Because like also we're all out and we're all together. Seems like it's just a good strat. Good strats versus just watching some films. Yeah, I saw a movie the other day by myself and I loved it. Oh yeah, the Guardians of
By
the
yourself?
Galaxy. Yeah, sometimes I watch movies by myself because
Okay.
I just like watching movies, man. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan of
I'm
movies.
watching some movies by myself.
Yeah, I used to do this all the time too, and it's just nice. It's just go there, watch a movie, eat some popcorn, laugh
Nobody ever wants to watch
by
a movie
yourself.
with me.
Well, that's
Like-
that's unfortunate. That's because you're John, and
It
so
makes sense.
and so I mean I like actually just like because sometimes like getting a bunch of people together is like hard, right? But if you just want to go watch the movie, it's just like, well, I'll just go watch it. Yeah, I watched Guardians by myself, and I loved it.
That
Guardians
was
was
such a good
amazing.
movie.
Yeah, I loved it. I was like, it was a crowded theater too. It was nice. It's
What do you
nice.
think about like Facebook groups, getting people together and going and watch a movie together, running out on the whole stage?
Oh, dude,
Or a
that
whole
could be
place.
crazy. Yeah, but that's like really hard to coordinate, right? And so that's
Sure.
that's kind of the point of like when I go by myself. But to your point, like that's exactly like that was kind of what I was getting at too. Is that if like the next movie, like maybe we should make it for like Dunkirk, right? Like it should be like a thing. Like we shouldn't make it like, yeah, let's just go watch it. No, let's like let's not go to the midnight showing because it's not going to be feasible to enjoy our company, right? Because we just be waiting in line sometimes. Like just go the next day, like at a reasonable time, like a 7 o'clock showing, and at the end of that, it'll be like 9 o'clock, right, 9 or 10, and then just go straight to the bar and hang out and be like, wasn't that a great movie? Well, it doesn't matter. We just party anyway, right? And just hang out and have a good time with friends. But anyway.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Anyway, yeah, I think, but like what Nick was alluding to earlier was like, you heard a lot of mixed reviews about people's opinions about movies. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, like, movies are going to be good or bad. That's just like how it is for like the test, like since the dawn of time, right? Since the Big Bang, the first stars that were formed, movies were either good or bad, since the very beginning. And so people just don't realize that. Like, even like movies like E.T. and all that stuff, like that whole movie was a gem, amongst that era, and it's still pretty great, even to this day. But it was also amongst, dozens, if not hundreds of other movies that people forgot about.
What is a movie? It's storytelling, right?
Yeah, I remember we got like a huge discussion about this at the bar once. Remember, it was you, me, and Christian. We were just like fighting, and
Fighting.
we were physically fighting. No, like it was cool. It was just a cool experience to talk about it. But like my point is that like like movies, it's just this experience. Whether you watch a film with moving pictures and a story, right? And sometimes there doesn't need to be a story, and sometimes there doesn't need to be moving pictures, right? Like it can just be simple visuals with great storytelling, or it can be like insane visuals with very little to no storytelling.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that there's genres for a reason. Like some people are into movies like John Wick, where it's just about a guy. He's like, they killed my dog, they stole my car, now I'm back.
I hear you, man.
Like there's like that Jackie Chan movie that's coming out. It's like a whole new genre just emerged, which is like the old man badass movie, where like there's this really old man. You know what I'm talking about? Like I think it started with the Taken series. Yeah, it's like.
So you didn't like that movie? What was it? The one with The Rock, Chris Hart.
Oh, Central Intelligence, I think it was.
Yeah, you didn't like him?
No, it was alright.
The reason why I liked it.
I wasn't like you were going nuts, like you've seen like
Dude,
an Oscar
I've never
award.
seen anything so good.
then you're gonna love Jumanji, man. It's just more.
Jumanji.
No,
It's
I mean,
gonna
I
be,
might.
believe
I
it
don't
when
know.
Joe
That's the
says it.
challenge, man.
It's gonna be more of the
That's
same. Man.
challenge.
It's just gonna be more of the
I
same.
love the screenwriting because it's if the whoever wrote the whole like the story behind it, the experience from the Chris Hart's perspective and all that. I don't know. There's so much potential in the way it was structured and all that. Just putting that to study and how the perspective of Chris Hart was captured and all. It's really cool how you could like grow another idea from this whole the whole picture.
Uh-huh.
You could put it in like a sci-fi, era, right? And just put
Wait, is it Kevin
Chris
Hart?
Hart.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah, I think his
I
name's
I
Chris.
want to say Chris Rock.
That's
Kevin,
racist.
it was Kevin Hart, right?
Yeah, it's Kevin Hart.
I was just like,
John's
ooh.
just being
Right.
racist.
I'm not a big fan of him, but I am. I am now. I just didn't
You
know
are.
him.
No, Kevin Hart is a charming individual, man. Like every time I see him
Yeah,
talk in interviews,
he's
or
cool.
like just a person, I follow him on Instagram too, actually.
Oh,
And
really?
like if you just like listen to the way he just talks, he's very 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 humble
Yeah, I feel like I could
dude,
learn from him.
individual guy. And
I'm gonna follow
But-
him on Instagram right now too.
yeah, but the thing is that like he's kind of like he's like Adam Sandler, right? Like he's got his genre of movies, and they're going to be funny and hilarious up until a point, Like this happens continuously, even the comedy scenes, right? Like there was Will Ferrell was like that, right? Like there was a time where everything that Will Ferrell was in was freaking comedic gold. Same thing with like Jim Carrey, and so forth and so on, right? And I think Chris Rock, or not Chris Rock, now you got me saying Kevin Hart is just another one, right? And so when I watched the Central Intelligence, I just was like, yeah, this is funny. but I wasn't like losing sleep over it though. And that goes to show it's like it's not the audience is not necessarily people like me, right? And I understand that. But I watched it and I enjoyed it. I think I saw it on the plane. I was watching it on the plane, yeah.
That makes sense. Wait.
Because the plane made a big difference. That's not true because I saw another movie on a plane and I loved it. I was like, yeah, this movie is great. Even though my plane ride wasn't so great. Yeah, I think Kevin Hart's going to do fine for quite a while. He had a show in the Improv here in the Spectrum.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, dope. I want to go see if I can like scope it out, maybe, you know. And then like you see his big picture on the thing, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And then like right after it is like sold out since like 2 months. I'm like, what? Oh man. So like he is making money, man, because his brand has exploded. He sells out everything because he knows his audience and his audience knows him and they love him. You know, like he really understands who he's making his films for and his comedy for, right? Which one was like the best stand-up that he did? He did like a really good stand-up and it was really good. I forget the name of it.
What are you talking about?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I really like to Let Me Explain.
Maybe that's the one. That doesn't sound like the one that I'm thinking about, but that one's probably pretty good. He has a lot of them. Like that's what I like about him. He's just like a product of just constant exploration. He's just constantly making a bunch of freaking.
Laugh at My Pain.
Yeah, I think that's the one. That sounds about
Okay.
right. I think that's the one. I forget, but there's a few, and they're all really good. And there's one that
Yeah.
was just really great. I loved it, and yeah, he's really good. He's a really good comedian. But I have no idea if he's going to stand the test
Stick
of time.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be kind of like really still a big deal for quite a while, and even when he stops making lots of films. But I think there's just a natural burnout that happens to these types of like celebrities. You know, like
That's what we're all observing, right?
yeah, they get really dope for like the first few years, and then it overwhelms them eventually.
They want to go do something else.
That or they just stop completely, or they'll just like start going crazy. Like there's
Crazy.
yeah, there's just like a very clear pattern, and
Oh,
I'm just kind of curious to see how it turns out for him.
has anyone seen
I'll be right back.
the new Mummy?
No,
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard that it was no longer like a mummy film. It was like a Tom Cruise film.
or just like
So he's like-
super action star.
Yeah, like it's like has nothing really to do with the story or anything. It's just like it's a Tom Cruise film, like just like another Mission Impossible, where like it's not about the action and then like the point A, point B. It's about Tom Cruise being cool or something.
Yeah,
So that was kind of like disheartening to hear because I like the earlier Mummy movies.
with
So,
Brendan Fraser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those ones actually. I think the third one was the worst one, right? But even the
Yeah.
Scorpion King was good with the crazy weird CGI rock.
Yeah.
I think that was his first movie too. Was that film, and it just
Yeah,
like
big
destroyed him. Yeah. Let me drink some of this soda real quick. Hold on. It is hot here in California.
Oh
It
man,
is
yeah.
so hot today.
Got my AC on, and
Oh my
it
gosh.
just
Temperature.
can't compete with the window.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you. It's relatively hot. Okay, take it easy on us. It's like 70 degrees outside. You're like, what the?
Oh man.
Oh,
No,
that's why Danielle says she's cold, because she just went to LA to visit a friend. I'm like, how hot is it over there? She's like, I'm pretty cold. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's all context based. Like if your body
Yeah.
is adjusted to it, it gets hot because we're so used to just easy breezies, and
Yeah.
so just a little
used to-
bit of a change makes it feel like a scorcher.
Used to Colorado weather, and this is just me melting, right?
Yeah, so
Jesus.
I want to kind of bring up a few points too. I know a lot of people watch a lot of films and they enjoy them, but like here's a few things that people should consider too, because I see a lot of artists online, and they kind of make a lot of these complaints, and they make a lot of these criticisms, and not just like, low level or entry level or novice, also like super epic artists. And I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? But here's something to be cautious of. One day you may work on these films that you most certainly despise, and you will be one of those artists that makes these art that you most certainly despise, right? And it's just how the business works. And so a lot of times people I think, are confused to why Hollywood makes movies that aren't necessarily so awesome, right? You would think that they would all be awesome, especially with all the money that's being thrown at them. But as I discovered, the more money you put into something doesn't necessarily the better it will be, right? And if that was a surefire equation, right? Like if you just put a lot of money into something and it will just work out, you know, then very, very little companies will go bankrupt, right? And very few things would flop because this just is not the case, you know?
Yeah.
There's like, I mean, if you look at like what happened to like a lot of these projects that got a lot of seed funding and then they didn't do well or they never came out. I mean, it's just a product of that's just not how it works. So why does this type of stuff happen? Why do films that you think, how could they have failed? They had so much to support them, right? You have to consider all the variables. So there's a few things. One, for instance, one of the biggest ones is just people just probably aren't interested. You know, like you can think that what you got is good, and you can put it together really well, and everybody who was a part of it actually might be very proud of it and really like it. You know, but if like you put it out there and just people are just like, I don't have any interest in this, then where that falls apart early on is this lack of understanding of what the general market is looking for, right? Especially if you're looking for commercial success. You understand? Like if you are trying to sell, like, okay, look at my creature design I'm making, right? Like this weird monster dude.
This chicken thing.
Yeah, this chicken scrotum dude, right? so, I understand that this is probably not feature film quality, not because it's not a really
You want to
nice
have
painted.
questions, team? I'm just throwing that in.
Yeah, sure. No, we have time. We can talk. And so, like, like if you have something like this concept that I'm painting here, some people might find a lot of attraction towards it, and some people might not. And that's a fair case in both scenarios. And just because like you guys maybe right like will be like, oh man, this is really cool. I would love to see a movie that had this kind of creature walking around. That's great, but that doesn't necessarily speak for the rest of the people on this planet. And so I always tell people, like, if you're gonna make something and you want to make something like that you believe is really good, like you think this is cool, like you got the right opinions, man. I got all the right opinions. Okay, then make the thing, but understand that you might only reach a small market, right? And reaching that small market is absolutely fine. I've been doing a lot of research for game development, right? Because I'm trying to get more into making my own games. And I understand this principle. I understand that I might not be making Call of Duties, y'all, right? I'm probably just going to make some really obscure and really kind of terrible games in the scope of what people expect a video game should be, right? But there's going to be some people, right? And those some people is all I really care about. I'm going to focus on those people. The people that are like, this is the kind of game that I would love to play all the time, right? And that might only be in the hundreds of thousands. You understand me? Like, it might not be a lot of people, but that's enough, right? If I'm only going to sell or cater or create things for them. And I know that I am, right? And I think a lot of times people forget that. And so for instance, like you take some of these Netflix shows that probably like Stranger Things, right? They were going around pitching it to everybody in Hollywood, and everyone's like, "This is a joke," right? And then it Netflix is like, "No, this doesn't seem like a joke. This seems like pretty dope. Like we'll give you we'll help you out, homies." All right? And then they put it on Netflix, freaking super hit, right? Overnight hit. And it's because the niche audience that was really into it happens to be a lot of people. Okay? Like, it's still a niche. Not everybody has watched it. Not everybody likes it. But it reached enough people that generally just loved it, you know, and it was just a weird show, and it wasn't your traditional kind of TV show, right? It was great, and I think people who understand that do better, and that's why you'll see movies that come out like Leica, like they don't necessarily go bankrupt, not because they're like making gains on gains on gains on their movies, right? They know the kind of audiences that they're selling to, and they just need to make just the minimum amount, right, to make their next film, right? And I love their strategy because it keeps them modest, it keeps them humble, and it keeps them loose. It lets them kind of create these really interesting experiences. Very rarely, I mean, it's very rare that you'll have like a really weird like movie or TV show also be a huge commercial success. Very rarely, right? Like think of like something like Star Wars. Like that's a great example. Like that is like a weird movie, okay? But it's like a huge mega success. Like my son, when he was 2 years old, who knew who Darth Vader was. That's like how much of a commercial impact it has. Like I'd never shown him a Star Wars toy or video game or even taught him who Vader was. But we were in Target. He saw a little Vader toy and he's like, Vader. And I'm like, what? How do you know who Darth Vader is already? Right? And it's because, I think he watched like a YouTube video where some kid had like a Darth Vader and just opened it. Those the toy opening channels. Yeah. And so, a lot of what I'm trying to get at is that there's a lot of people don't realize that that's a tremendous value to understand who you're selling to. And I think a lot of these films, they don't necessarily realize that. And a lot of the audience members don't necessarily realize that either. Like you'll see a movie like Warcraft come out, and it did actually pretty poorly here in the States. And I worked on that film, and I actually enjoyed every minute I worked on it.
I love that film, but that's also because I play a lot of Blizzard games. So yeah,
totally. And I was biased because I worked on it, right? And so, chisel detail. Save this brush. And so
you could also say though, it's more like marketing too, because I mean your son's 2 years old, and there's been a lot of Star Wars marketing happening the last couple of years because of there's all the money that's been thrown at them.
You're right. So and here's kind of to my other point is that the movie actually is a commercial success, but not here domestically. It's actually because of foreign.
International.
Yeah.
Like Japan loves Star Wars.
Yeah, and so these movies do crazy well, and I think this is something that's starting to open up, and people, especially Americans, are starting to be like, "Oh, what are they doing? Like catering? They're taking the Americanness out of the movies as well because Americans aren't watching these movies anymore."
There's so many other people.
And so, and so I'm sorry, but we're not the only people on this goddamn planet, and so if other people are watching these movies and giving them money, sorry. You snooze, you lose, right? Like the movies are going to eventually probably be all in Mandarin, and if you won't be able to understand any of it, you just be like, "What is this movie? I don't understand any of it."
You should probably go learn Mandarin.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about learning some Mandarin, dude.
Yeah.
And so,
good luck.
Thank you for your enthusiastic well wishes. Didn't sound sarcastic at all.
No, I'm serious. Good luck. It's not easy, but it's not hard either. You just kind of have to like switch your grammar structure around.
It's just like everything, right? You just got to put some time and effort into it. All right, like I haven't put no time and no effort.
Just gotta go live there.
Yeah, living somewhere makes a big difference for sure. But anyway, so yeah, with all that being said, like you guys, like I think it's important to have opinions and go watch movies that you think you'd like. Like a lot of these movie critics have their opinions, but they're not necessarily right. And a lot of your favorite artists may have like I like the Transformers movies, but you might go watch them and vomit out of your eyes. That's fine, dude. I accept your opinions.
I was actually going to make that point earlier. Is I actually have a roommate that does a lot of just watching opinions and reviews and stuff on movies, on games, and he uses that to make his decision on whether he wants to go and see it or buy it, and he relies on that heavily. And I'm quite the opposite. Like I don't really ever trust anyone else's opinion, because I've found that, like, Halo 5 got a lot of bad criticism, and I loved Halo 5.
Yeah.
There are a lot of movies that has gotten like really, really like raving reviews, and I went and saw it, and I was like, that wasn't really that great. Like, why did I listen? So
yeah, like I remember, that's a great point. Like I remember watching Gravity, and I fell asleep like in the middle of it, and I was like, this isn't that exciting.
Like your mainstream media and your whatever you listen to reviewers can give you an opinion that, like, maybe by and large be the opinion of everyone, but like as a personal thing, like I don't ever really listen to them, because I could go in and love something that someone else hated, and I could be completely fine with it.
Yeah. That's why I actually generally avoid Rotten Tomatoes reviews or any of these like larger reviews.
Me too.
Because I just don't believe them. Not to say that I think there's something to be said if there's like a universal praise, like if every freaking thing loves it, like not just Rotten Tomatoes, but like every single news outlet and like a reporter or a journalist or every kind of like movie critic, YouTube channel is like everybody and their moms is like,
that's like asking
this
for world
movie,
peace
this
right
movie.
there.
No, this happens every once in a while. Like people will just like say this was dope, and you go watch it and you're like, this was dope, and you had high expectations and it met your high expectations. And again, those are like very rare, right? And there's something to say, you said on the opposite side where people are like, this is total trash, and it's just like all across the board, everyone hates the thing, but when it's like in the middle, that's where or not even in the middle, even if it's like on a high end or a low end, I generally just kind of like, oh, I'll go see for myself. But if it's on a very like, for instance, if Valerian comes out and everybody and their moms like can't believe that it's an amazing, like they're just like, this blows my mind, like this is the greatest film ever, and I can't find anybody who says an ill will to it. I'm sure it's going to actually be great,
Yeah.
But
it's
like
one of those movies that has like a lot of money flowing into it, it seems. So I was like what you were saying earlier is like the recipe for a good movie isn't necessarily a lot of money. I hope it doesn't fall prey to that. But
yeah, well, there's only one way to find out, right? We gotta watch.
Isn't Tencent involved in the movie?
Oh, are they? I'm interested. Tencent is notoriously cool at giving people lots of money and letting them have creative freedom, which is a good thing. But anywho, I think. I generally try to avoid that. And like I said, especially people in the industry, like we got to understand, like, we have to understand this whole thing it's a process. There's sometimes team switches, there's director switch, writers change, there's all kinds of variables that happen. It's not one single person's fault either, right? And sometimes it is, but most of the times it generally isn't, I worked on that monster truck movie. You know that monster truck movie that came out? That was garbage.
I know what you're talking about. Me and my
movie.
friends made jokes about that movie.
Yeah. See? How dare you? I worked on that movie.
I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. I felt the same way when I was working on it. And I remember when I was working on it, I was just like, this could be cool, right? Like, we can totally make it work. We could totally make this work.
Just like having faith.
And I did this crazy monster truck design. I think John saw them, and they were kind of wicked. And I was playing on the idea of like, when they go to monster truck rallies, the monster truck actually looked very much like a monster. Like it was very hardly hidden, But that would be the joke, is that everybody would be like, man, this kid's really good at decorating his monster truck. Like it almost really looks like a real monster, but that's the joke. And that would be like kind of like the inside joke that the audience would have, and I thought that was a great idea. I was like, yeah, this would be cool. Like, and that way you can kind of not make it just like a literal monster transforming into a truck, because I think people will see through that. They do see the kind of gimmick that you're trying to do. They're trying to basically cash in on that Transformers money, and but they didn't go for that, right? And a lot of the reasons why is because they really wanted to hit a very specific demographic. And I remember making points to them. It's like, like I understand that, but like, yeah, if it's not cool though, like if it doesn't look cool and feel cool, it won't matter, right? And I remember having these opinions, and as I was working on it, it was rough, but I loved working with everybody there. Like literally, like it was a great experience. I like everyone I was working with was good people and really nice. I worked with some legendary artists, even, you know. But like it was probably the least fulfilling project I've ever worked on, you know. And I always tell people that happens, right? And then so I thought in a million years though that it would not come out because it's just like there's just no way they're going to make this work, right? If they make this movie come out, like there's no way it's going to do well. And so then I remember I was in the theater and it was like watching some kids movie. I think it was Pete's Dragon with my kids, and um, the trailer comes up, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're doing it.
No.
They're gonna do it. All right. And so then I kind of was like, dude, if this movie is a commercial hit, everything I ever known about design goes out the window. I was like, I need to
And it
rethink.
was.
No, it was
No, I'm
not.
just kidding. I didn't see the movie.
Yeah, well, that's the point. And so I was just like, oh boy. And then it came out, but I didn't even know it came out. I have no idea if my name is even in the movies, right? But I have really good friends who worked on that movie with me, and like some really good artists that worked on that movie. And like I said, it was a movie that was worked on by artists, and we had to make that movie and design it. It's a job. And yeah, people will make fun of it and joke around about it, and you just got to understand that this is part of the trade. And uh, and what you have to also respect is that like I didn't have to take that job in the first place either, right? But it was like a really cool opportunity. They really they sold me on it, and I really was into it until towards the end, and then I was just kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this anymore. But um, yeah, like I try to tell people that this is how the industry works, right? Like there's just so like I was in there. I saw the inner workings of all the different things that were being said and done, and that led me to think that like this is why you see this kind of like this is why it's hard to make great movies. You know, I saw it from within. Like I saw, I was like, it's because there's just so much going on behind scenes. It's not as
So many
simple as
hats.
it's not as simple as just put Michael Bay behind it and then it'll be a commercial success. Like that just doesn't work that way either. You know? Yeah, it's Steven Spielberg. We'll just put him as the executive producer. It'll do gangbusters. Just
Your
doesn't
name
work
is
that
not
way.
in the credit.
It's not.
It's not.
How dare they? Like I'm all sad. Like I actually wanted my name in that movie. No, it's all right. I'll let it slide. My name was in. I worked on Warcraft, and my name is in that credits. I didn't expect it to be because I didn't work on that very long. Actually, I worked on it for like less than a month, right? And my name was in the credits, and I was like, "What? Dope!" They like really appreciate themselves. They're artists over there at Blizzard, man. I love those guys. Um, but yeah, I like barely worked on it, and they're like, "No, like your stuff. You did stuff. You deserve credits."
You did things. Here's your credit.
Yeah, and that's exactly how they rolled, and I appreciate that.
Mhm.
But anyway, with that being said, hopefully that gives you guys some insight, everybody who's watching and listening, just on the how, like, why not every goddamn movie is an amazing hit. If that was the case, then there would be no contrast, right? You gotta have the dirty before you can enjoy the clean. That's
Oh
not
yeah,
that's
you
not a
need that
saying.
spectrum. You need that like, you know, if everything
Yeah.
was great, like what would be bad? What would be good and bad if everything was like the same?
Yeah, I remember watching. Me and John watched Fast and the Furious movie, and the latest one. Man, I
Mm.
enjoyed it so much. Like we were
And
literally laughing at like every 10 minutes, every 5 to 10 minutes, because the
You guys
movie
hear
was
me okay?
just crazy. Yeah, we can hear you.
Like,
Yeah, the movie is just so crazy.
that's one of the franchise. No, that's one of the
Yeah,
series that I haven't really gotten into. I can't. Something about it is I don't know.
you don't like fast cars, fast women.
I like
it was really cool. I
I
enjoyed
like
it.
fast cars, but like everything else is like too much.
Yeah,
Like
that's the whole point. It's a joke. Like
yeah,
they know, and that's what I'm saying. Like Transformers doesn't know. That's what bothered me about the like they should
I mean,
know.
they're learning.
They
I think
should
they're
know that
learning.
it's a joke. Like, just make it even more of a crazy. Like, okay, so the first part of the movie I love because they had robots that were turning into dragons that were fighting like knights, like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. That was the first like 15, 20 minutes of the movie, the Transformers movie that I just watched, and I loved it. I even thought like, what a great like that could be a cool video game, right? Like just having like medieval knights fight robots and shit. That would be so dope. That'd be so much fun to play. I was
How
watching
would that
it.
even work?
I don't know, but I'll make it work. It was funny though. It,
I'll
it, it
play
was
it.
fun, man. I like loved it. I was like, oh man, if this whole movie just was like this, I would have enjoyed it even that much more. If it
Make
was
it,
just
AJ.
like,
You got your first customer right here.
yeah, it's kind of like Beast Wars, right? Like this kind of very niche version of
Oh,
Transformers, where there's like, what if they were all animals living in the wild? There was no humans involved.
yeah. You got
Like,
your idea, and you got all your different skins of that idea.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so,
I have a perspective to throw at you.
yeah, go
Um,
throw it at me.
So I used to work for, like, say, or just put yourself in a, like you've worked for a game company,
Uh-huh.
okay? And you're like, I played this game, and I like it, but you work for this game company, right?
Uh-huh.
And they pay you, money and stuff. Like,
I feel like it's
They-
going somewhere. This is going somewhere,
They
right?
pay you in clams.
Pay you
Yeah.
like gum.
so think about a perspective of like a developer or an artist who's working on a movie, okay? And like they're at a point where it's like, I like this movie and you're paying me money, right? I like where I'm going with this. I don't know. You take it from there.
What?
I called it. I called it, didn't I? I was like, this is going somewhere, right? I called it.
Take it from there. Go ahead.
That's not how conversations work, John.
I was like, we
That's like
thought
the
you had
opposite.
like a
Going
fully
somewhere.
baked idea, and
Yeah.
then
I
you're
do.
just
I
like,
do.
That's like the opposite of a
We got
conversation.
disconnected. We got disconnected.
Yeah, like, yo, dude, there was this one time, guys. I went to the store, man, and I bought this shirt.
Throw this imagination.
And you take it, dude. Nick, take it from here. Nick's like, what? I wasn't
Take it how you
there.
want, man.
I
Take
am
it
not-
how you want.
I'm gonna keep talking to hypotheticals.
Does anybody ever hang out with her in real life? I'm just wondering.
With John?
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does
yeah,
anybody
yeah,
ever
I
hang
do.
out with him?
Yeah, I do.
How do they put up with him?
Oh, I don't. I don't.
It's just like the conversation goes up halfway, and then John will be looking at everybody, be like, "All right, who wants it next? Take it." And you're like, "What?"
No, it's actually a blast. I love hanging out with him. And
Yeah,
like,
Stupid.
yeah,
I'm
it's so,
stupid.
no, dude, I just don't know where you were going with it. It's so funny. I'm just gonna start talking to people like that. I'm just gonna start a conversation that seems like I should have all the information, and then just give it to them. Just get rid of the responsibility. Hey, dude, I was watching this car race, man. It was dope, and then this car just like got out of control. Nick, take it from there.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, what?
That would make a good movie.
and then it turned
Oh
into
my
a
God.
monster.
That's so funny.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah, you
No,
made
for-
me laugh so hard.
What I think Transformers would benefit from is less human interaction, even though that means like more CG.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like that's what it lacks for me is like, well, not lacks. It's just what the problem is for me is that the human element of that movie franchise is that like there's just too much of it. Like humans are so fragile, and like with all these like crazy huge sharp
Yeah,
machines flying around,
that's-
like we wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
contend with that.
That's a
The
good
first
point.
couple of movies didn't have as much human interaction. Like they were there. There were the elements of like
The third
like,
film.
intelligence.
Yeah, the third film, like, I remember watching it, and I remember my friend halfway through was kind of like just scoffing the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what's going on? You know, we were talking about it afterwards, and he's just like, like, it's just like, there's no story, man. And I'm like the parts that you're scoffing at, like, literally there was just an hour-long cutscene of just robots fighting other robots and transforming. It's like a visual effects, like, feat to do what they just did. Right?
Right.
It's like, it's crazy. And it was amazing. I enjoyed it. Like the whole sequence where they're like the buildings collapsing and the snake robots like going through the streets, like all of that stuff was just immersive. It was intense. And I get some people just can care less about that, but that's the point. Like if you are coming into this thinking that you're going to be moved, yeah, you're going to be disappointed, man. Like, yeah, of course. But hey, let's go ahead and round this out and start taking some questions now.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that first one that you had. Hello, have you heard about the Venus Project by Jacques Fresco? You posted it.
No, I have not.
You didn't post that first question.
No, but no, I'm answering. Like, have I heard of
Okay.
it? And I said, no, I have not heard of that project. No.
It says, you'll like the idea. Anthony, in one of your said that Paul Richards is a friend. Do you have any information about him? He's a cool designer, but there is not any of his tutorials or courses. Nothing is heard from him. Hi, Anthony. Okay, that's the first person.
Yeah, I think he's just working. Like he had his head out for a little bit. He was doing a bunch of different things, but I think he's just happy being like, working on his own thing. I see him occasionally. I think I saw him on like a CT or two ago, and it was great. Good to see him and stuff. And I talk to him periodically online. Yeah, he's just working, just doing his own thing, staying on task of the kinds of things that he enjoys. Yeah, we used to get in it all the time. Like we would get in these heated discussions about what was good or not, and that's where I kind of learned a lot of what I'm saying now. Like I got a lot of perspective on like what makes great things. Are you guys still there? Hello?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Just
My
listening.
my Photoshop like kind of froze, so I figured when that happens, I freak out a bit. Oh, did I get it back? No, it's still choppy. Just give it some more time. What's another question while this is like trying to come back together?
Someone on
there you go.
YouTube said your mic's all messed up, but I think it is.
My mic?
That sounds good. I think it says good. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Next question says, first, I just want to say that I really love not just your 2D art, but how you rationalize solve problems and your view on the world and politics. Second, how do you get good ideas for art, characters, illustrations, and where do you pull inspiration from? I'm struggling to create a portfolio piece that I truly love. Thanks.
Hold on. Maybe he was onto something. I just double checked my audio on the... Hello? Is that better? This whole time might have been really bad. You guys talk? Go ahead.
Yeah, I hear you. You're the same.
Hello.
It could be me. Am I disconnecting or is it?
No. Like I just discovered that maybe my audio settings were all screwed up. And
I'm like in the red zone.
But I double checked earlier and it seemed fine. But maybe that person was talking. And if that's the case, then the mic was probably just coming out of my webcam. Can you double confirms with anybody who's still watching?
Yeah. I'm just curious if it's me connecting.
No, I don't think it's you.
Okay.
So the audio in Discord is different, way different than the audio on our streams. So if that's the case, then my bad to everybody. They're just listening to this stream. That sounds like I'm probably talking out of a can. My bad. I should have stress tested earlier.
You were disconnected a little bit on my end, so I'm curious what's up. But did you answer that question?
What was the question?
Where do you pull inspiration from?
Yeah, I look at all sorts of things, guys. I look at like whatever is available. I watch a lot of video tutorials and I watch a lot of YouTube videos just from other artists. But sometimes I just look at things that have nothing to do with art. I think that's something that not enough people do enough of, which is look at things that are not artistically, inclined. Because, you'd think that you need to look at only art stuff to be inspired by art or to do art. But the reality is, like, art is just a product of what is already kind of flowing inside your subconscious. And if your subconscious is filled with just, like, military sci-fi, like, Call of Duty type-esque art, then you're going to make that kind of artwork. And not to say that it's bad, it's just that's what's going to be coming out of you. But if you don't want that, like if you want something a little bit more organic, a little bit more interesting, then don't look at the same old. Look at something completely different.
Like chicken scrotum dudes.
Like chicken scrotum dudes. Yeah. Is the audio any better? Can you check the people on Facebook, John, to see if that's the case? Because it said it was on default audio and speakers, but I don't want it to be on that. I want it to always be on my Turtle Beach headset, which is the most ideal situation. I don't know if John's here. Or anybody who's been listening into the chat, go to the stream chat and confirm or deny. Confirm and or deny. Did John die on us? Uh-oh.
I think you did.
Oh boy. All right. So let me see what other questions there were at.
John can't hear you.
All right. Let's see. AJ's, what's your biggest influence in terms of armors and mechs? Oh, I love Gundam and like a lot of Japanese stuff, like Japanese robotics and stuff like that. I also like looking at cars and motorcycles. I'm not a car guy or a motorcycle guy, but those are things I love. Anthony, do you plan on releasing any more?
Check.
Hey, what's up, dude? Do you plan on releasing any more 3D code tutorials, particularly with dealing with hand-painted characters utilizing custom PSD brushes, etc.? Essentially, a combination of your PSD tutorial techniques combined with 3D code models. Cheers. I can. I don't see why not.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Okay.
I had a couple of people ask for 3D code stuff too.
Yeah, I'm reading through these. By the way, have you seen Akja? It's awesome. I have not. And can you share some info about your mentorship? Been interested in a while, and I was wondering how the lessons work. For example, to spend one-on-one time with your students. Also, is it possible to attend without having a Discord account? Rocking Windows Vista here, and thus I can't download the app. Well, Discord is a browser-based service at first, and they developed a desktop app. And plus the mentorship, we don't really use the Discord. We use Skype to get the class started, and then we use GoToMeetings to actually host and run the class. And then I basically go person by person and give people between 15 to 20 minutes of a critique, sometimes even longer, sometimes shorter, depending on if it's towards the end or the beginning of the class. But I get, basically hours of criticism to each person over the span of a month. But the thing is that there's other people in the class, and although I'm giving really intense criticism perhaps to you, and then I move on to somebody else, that criticism that I'm giving to the next person is actually, in a lot of cases, very, very relevant to your own problems. So it's actually very valuable to listen in on everyone else's critique, at least what I've found. Yeah, I'm also launching like a club. If you go here to education, private club, look into it for more information. But basically what I've done is try to find a mix between my tutorials and like my mentorships. So what the club is going to do is that you can do like a one-time fee or a subscription model fee. And then you can basically have access to all of my videos and have access to these, to a private Discord, to have access to a, also to projects and some study stuff that I've created. There's a whole video about it on that page. You can check it out. But basically, I made that so that way I can have, because I actually have a lot more time on my hands nowadays. And so I'm going to use that extra time to actually to spend more time with students. And so I'm going to use that time to do workshops that are specifically and only made for those people who are subscribed to that. And then once I've get that going, it'll be a great way for you to get your work looked at there, because in the mentorship, that's the value of the mentorship, is that I can basically.
Pasture pork, is that real pork?
Oh, wait, hold on.
I spit it out.
Yeah, it is.
I spit it out.
It's lard.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, you got to double read everything. You never know. Yeah, my wife got these almond tortillas, I think, and inside of it was pork lard. And we're vegan, so like she just said she spit it out. And so because I think she tasted something weird. Anywho, yeah, Yeah, so like in my mentorships, I usually give people feedback and criticism generally, right? Because that's like the class. But my tutorials, I don't, right? I don't give anybody criticism or feedback. And every once in a while, people will write me, but it's very far and few between. So I built this club is like kind of in the middle. And I originally had like a forums that I made a long time ago, but the problem with that, the forums was just really hard to manage. And they were off my site, so there's a lot of like back and forth. So I've spent the last month or two just really I learned a lot of web design, so I really basically put it all integrated in my own site. So that way I don't have to go anywhere else. I just stick on my site. So check out all this stuff. See what option works best for you. Mentorship is by far probably the best, but you can always sign up for the club, and you can always still buy the tutorials. But yeah, by far it's the best because I am devoted up to 2 to 3 hours to hang out and talk and help you out best I can. Most people enjoy it. I think I've had very few complaints. People take my classes, and those criticisms are usually easily adjustable. I mean, Wen took the class. Maybe Wen can talk about it.
Yeah. My experience is kind of well, it was kind of bad for myself because I didn't really know a lot about painting and drawing. So, what happened in class was AJ teaching me how to study and how to draw, how to paint. And at one point, AJ was like, "Prove to me that you study." He was just yelling at me, and I was like, "What the hell?" And after that, it was basically like a life lesson for me. It was just learning like how to be dedicated to something, how to research something that you want. Like I'm doing the art station challenge right now, so I just posted a character of like a merc character, and I had to research like where do grenades typically go on a soldier, and how do they carry their ammunitions.
Making me proud.
Yeah, like things like that, because like typically when I looked at a soldier picture, I'm like, oh, that guy's a soldier. I don't really care, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then like when you're trying to tell a story about a character, things like what does he wear? How does he
Yeah.
wear it?
Yeah.
You know, like all of these things comes into
Because
like, context.
because what you're trying to get at, right? Like, is that like you might not know, but the character that you're painting does, right? And that's very valuable. That's very smart of you to say. I'm proud. I'm a proud parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to see Win grow.
Oh yeah, he's gotten so much better, dude.
Better. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Still at
absolutely.
it. Doing your thing.
Yeah, and my mentorships and my classes, my tutorial, people who do any of these things, I don't just teach you guys, right? I try to make a really strong connection with a lot of the people that I teach, as many people as I possibly can, because yeah, you guys support me, I support you. This is how it works. So feel free to ask more questions about it whenever you get a chance, or see for yourself, whatever. It will always be around. As long as I'm around, I'll definitely be teaching. It's one of my life's passions for sure. I love it. What was where was I at? So someone in mentorship. Hopefully that helped you out, Furry. Hope that gave you information. Hello, Anthony. My question is about color picking with the RGB sliders because Photoshop CS3, 4, 5 do not have color box as CC. How can I control the gamut range with the sliders? Man, that's too intense. Just get CC, bro. Just upgrade. Just do it. Or you can just get there's really affordable plugins that can do everything that you're probably looking for too. And for the longest time, I didn't use RGB anyways. I used HSB because that's kind of how I thought. I thought about color, saturation, and brightness, not red, blue, and green, because that's so much harder to kind of contemplate, But it's more intuitive to be like, is this brighter or is this more saturated or is this blue, So that's what I would say. How do you create the intricate details when painting the muscles or bumps on a character? I use very small brush sizes to do that. You'll notice if you go back and watch this video again, you'll notice that I shrink and increase my brush size continuously and constantly, and that's how I get detail without zooming in. And then I just have laser precision with my painting skills, y'all.
Robotpencil.
Robotpencil. My pencil's a robot. That's the trick.
He's
I
a
don't.
mechanical pencil.
Yeah, I don't really have art skills. My pencil is this pencil from space. It fell from space and was donned to me the ability to paint really well.
Can I say
like an
something
80s
about that real
movie.
quick?
Like an 80s, like a bad 80s movie.
Like if you really want to like draw or paint, like you should start drawing traditional, because like you can't zoom in with that. So if you can render well in traditional, it's gonna translate very well over to digital.
Nope.
Because you can't zoom
Wrong. I'm the teacher here. You're not the teacher. I'm the teacher. How dare you? I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's great advice. Even though I came down at you, I was being overtly sarcastic. No, that's great advice.
Have you seen Nick Acuna?
Oh, dude,
Acuna?
he did like this cool
Traditional stuff.
Yeah, he did like this really badass like troll dude
Yeah,
getting like his horns tattooed or something or carved. I was like, this is
he's got
dope.
color down, speed too.
Yeah, this is real
Good.
dope. Yeah, he's really good. He's gotten better and better. Another
Hell yeah.
legendary artist.
I never want to render. I don't know why.
You never want to render?
Yeah, like every time when I try to render something, AJ, and I'm just like, I just cringe. Like I can't do it.
You can do it. What's happening is that you just are really bad at it. And so what ends up occurring is that your brain is like, uh-oh, we're getting there. We're getting to where we don't know. We're getting to untreaded territory, right? And when that happens, you're more likely to opt out on doing the rest. That's where procrastination will be instigated, is by insecurity or fear, right? Because if you knew how to do it and you were very certain you did it well, there's actually no reason why you wouldn't do it, right? Like if you're really good at something, you generally would just do it. That's why people play video games as much as they do. Not because they're the best or like they're all about to go to esports or anything crazy, but because they can incrementally see themselves getting better. The game is designed to not make the challenge, at least good games are designed to make the challenges just enough challenge, but just enough ease, right? Like right in the middle, like where it's challenging, not ease, I'm sorry, it's challenging and engaging. That's the word. Where it's like it's fun, right? You can have something super challenging, but not fun, and you can have something that's fun and not challenging. But like where really good games fit are the ones that have really good challenge and it's a lot of fun. Those challenges, like a game like Portal, I think does like the best job. Like it makes you feel like a math, like a brilliant genius when you solve these puzzles. It's awesome.
That's a good movie.
And it's not like did you say it was a good movie? Take it from here, guys. Take it from here. All right. Anyways, we'll move on though. But yeah, I think that's the number one causation of your problems. When you just got to do it, man. You just got to buckle down and marathon through it.
Yeah, no, I just never want to do it. Like every time when I got close to it, I'm like, this looks like crap, and then I just go find photos and then I just bash it. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, and then it's always going to be that way unless you start to kind of make some steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
Get your act together, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. What other questions do we have? How do you? I'm really excited about Valerian and the City of Thousand Planets. Visuals are awesome. I think Fings, you did a lot of concepts for that. Oh, that's cool. Hey, Anthony, what is your top 5 movies? I can't really. I don't want to have to think about that too much, but I can tell you my number 1 favorite movie, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Yep, John knows me. I love Forrest Gump. It's everything I think a movie needs to be. I've been trying to tackle the book How to Draw by Scott Robertson, but I tend to lose patience in understanding the material. Basically, how do I go about studying from books? The trick is incrementally. Just anything that's very challenging or overwhelming, like there's a lot to learn, just take it one step at a time. You know. Otherwise, yeah, you'll lose interest and lose patience quickly. But here's a piece of advice I'll tell you: the fact that you lost patience will demonstrate itself in other ways, right? And another way of thinking about this is that there's another person out there named Ricky Tai, same name and everything, who's got the same book, and they're not losing patience. All right, so keep that in mind. But a good strategy, if you're a person that loses interest really quickly or get bored, just do like one page. Even if it's like there's hundreds of pages, well, then it's going to take you a year or two to do it. It's fine, but at least you can get through it. Versus someone who just stops and never reads the rest of the book. What kind of portfolio do you look for? I'm assuming before accepting a student. Oh, I take all brands, man. I can teach everybody at all levels and all at the same time. Pretty good at it. I've taught all sorts of peeps. Hey Anthony, when and how did you decide which painting process you wanted to do consistently? I've been having trouble lately painting consistently. Every time I paint, my process is always different. I know there are so many ways to paint. All I have their advantages and disadvantages. So my question is again, how did you decide which process of painting to do as your own and consistently? The quick answer, because I need to actually start powering through these, make dinner for my kids. The quick answer would be that I just chose and I just stuck with it. A good example is that now I'm learning game design, right? And as I'm learning game design, there's something very similar happening where I'm like, there's all sorts. Huh?
I gotta wipe booty.
Oh, that's fine. You can wipe some booty. So there's like a lot of things like within the game industry, right? Like there's adventure games, puzzle games, action games, platform games, shooters. There's all sorts of stuff, right? So even with that, like, so it started off with like, okay, there's all sorts of game engines to use. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just use this engine, and then I was like, well, there's all kinds of genres of games to make. I'm gonna make my main focus this one. Does that make sense? Although I'm a fan of all of these things, I'm a fan of all these different engines, I'm a fan of all these different programs and tools, and I'm a fan of all these different processes and these genres and these games and all this stuff. I'm going to use them as only as influences and inspiration, but I'm not going to let them distract me to just stay focused on the one thing, the one kind of game I want to kind of make and be the best at. A great example of my a role model that I'm looking at as a game developer, like my favorite game developer would be Rockstar. Like, think about what they do. Like, what kind of games do they make? Do they make puzzle games? Do they make like, match 3 games? No, they make these open world games, right? And they're the best at it because that's all they keep doing. They just keep expanding on the last previous iteration of an open world game, and there's no one can compete. And so that's the way I see it. So if you get distracted too often, then you're going to be in this constant limbo with yourself. The question is just choose, okay? The question you should ask yourself is, the answer to this question is just to choose. Like I said, I have a more profound way of answering this, but I don't have enough time to get into that. Oh, look at my little baby. You guys can't see the little baby. Oh, I could probably put the webcam on, put the baby in. Oh, my wife's running away. She's not ready. The baby is cute.
Yeah, he's cool, man. It's exciting.
How dare you?
I think you're fine. You just ran away, though.
It's much darker than your other babies.
That's racist.
Hey.
Hi, I want to know, is concept art a method of construction of design, like character design, or is it a part of the method process? Or is it part of the method of process of character design? Thank you. Hugs from Brazil. Concept art is just the starting point, right? Like, this is the point where we have to ask ourselves, like, is this what we want to model and put into 3D and start animating and doing all that fun stuff? And that's what concept art does. And character design is one of the many facets of concept art. concept art for environments, vehicles, weapons, etc. Same thing that I was just answering the last question, right? I could have done all these many different things, but I said, no, I'm gonna be the dopest at painting monsters and characters. That's gonna be my thing. I'm gonna be really good at it. I'm gonna be known for that, and that's what I am. I'm mostly known for this, just doing this kind of stuff. Whether you like it or not, you can't deny that I'm pretty good at it, right? And it has nothing to do with my talent. It has nothing to do with me being like this special kid. I just done it for so long, and if you give me another decade, I'm gonna be remarkably better, you know. And that's just a lot of time to devote into something. That's why I've gotten to the point where I'm decided to try different stuff. Like I want to be a web game designer. I've decided that's where I want to live. I want to live on web games, and I'm going to make just a ton of them, and they're all going to be action games because I love action games, just like I love action movies. You know, I'm going to make that Knights versus Robots game, and people are going to love it. You know, because it's just going to be, you're just going to be this guy wielding a sword fighting giant robots. It's going to be cool.
Well, they already did that with Horizon Zero Dawn, so
no,
I mean,
mine's gonna be better, and there's gonna be robots riding horses and horses riding robots. It's gonna be amazing.
Robots riding horses.
And horses riding robots. That's the part. That's the more interesting part.
That's a better one, yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing, man. Like I could totally like do stuff like that because I would be such a smaller developer, right? And I can get away with these bizarre ideas. And I have some good ideas of like of games. Well, they seem like good ideas. We'll see if I make them and they're actually trash. But that's the process of iteration. But see, I'm saying again, character design and concept art is just all one facet of one like whole piece. And I just decided to do this one thing. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I love characters, man. I don't think. Even the type of games I'm making are like character driven, you know, like built around like you play a character that does like cool stuff. So that's kind of where I live. Like even as I'm doing an environment, I'm learning environment design as just a facet of I have to because I need to make games. It's kind of, and I saw this game actually. I actually can counter my own argument. I saw a game recently because I've been watching a lot of videos that there was no background really. It was just all silhouetted and stuff. And it looked dope. And I was like, oh man, maybe I can get away with not doing any backgrounds after all. You know, just build some abstract.
You really have to play, what's the game? It's the side scroller.
All right, John strikes again.
Do you take it from there? N plus plus. There's like N plus plus is a good one, where it's just like this platformer where you just are a dude just like being a ninja in these environments.
Let me find it.
Yeah, please do. But like there's many examples. Like I don't have to make like full on exploring games. I can just make super simple games. In fact, one of my friends is making games too, and he was talking to me about like he's going to learn a lot about like world building tools and stuff for games, and I can just focus on like action mechanics, and then our powers combined, we could probably make one big game. You know,
it's kind of like Limbo, but it's is it Limbo? Yeah, Limbo. Yeah. Not Limbo.
Jesus, John.
Take it from there. Take it from there, guys. All right, let me move on. I'm gonna move on. How important do you think connections are in our industry? Very important. Very important. Any stories? I don't have enough time to get into it, but I will just say this: like 90% of all my jobs I've ever gotten in the industry have been through friends or people that I've met over time. Hello, Mr. Jones. Will you make another Heaven's Hell book? Actually, I thought about making the Heaven's Hell game. How do you?
That'd be tight.
Is that CJ? Is that CJ, my boy? Yeah, because
That's what I imagine.
Yeah, because I don't know if I'll make a book because that whole ordeal was very difficult. It's very challenging for me. But making art was fine. Like I can make art. That's good. But putting together and packaging it and dealing with physical stuff is a whole world that I had no clue about, and I'm still kind of struggling with it. But digital distribution is not too hard. That's where my whole business is thrived off of, right? And so making a video game version of it, I thought about because the story around it is about like these characters that interact with each other in some sort of arena type esque setting. So it'd be like a fighting game, right? But with like a really dark theme. So I
It's
don't know.
gotta be a good game. Gonna
Wait, is
be a
someone
good game.
is CJ in here? Is he talking? Oh, I can't even hear you, man. Like it's super quiet. Hold on, let me see what's up.
Yeah.
How about now?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah,
My
sorry,
boy.
I was.
CJ.
Hey, what's up, CJ? I was very excited to get to talk to you again. I've been a while, but
Yeah, it's been a while,
I-
man.
are you coming back to Edge Control? I'm sorry if someone asked that already.
Oh, nobody
earlier,
has
but-
asked. No, I
Oh.
actually plan on. I'm gonna try to, but no promises.
Oh, okay, no worries. I know you
Alright.
just had a baby, so I get your schedule.
All right, I'm gonna move on.
No
It's all
worries.
good, dude.
Thank you very
Good
much.
talking with you. I'm glad that
Yeah,
you're
you
up
too,
hanging out.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Paul. Hey AJ. Well, I need a mic for the mentorship. No, you don't need one, but I'd prefer one. It's easier. That way you can talk with me at the same time. You can just get like a cheap mic. You don't have to get like a super dope like gamer mic. You can get like a $10 one, and that as long as it works, as long as you can hear me and I can hear you, and then we can talk, that works fine. Or you can type. A lot of people like to type. If you have access to the guild, can you get access to the club? And the mentorship is pretty solid. The words you look like you draw with a crayon ring in my head daily. What? Let me read that again. And the mentorship is pretty solid. The words you look like you draw with a crayon rings in my head daily. Oh, this is pretty solid. There's no commas or any kind of
Take it from here, John.
yeah. Take it from here, John. Pretty solid.
yeah.
The words you look like you
Embarrass
draw
myself
with
now.
crayons. Okay, see, there's supposed to be quotations here. This is supposed to be you look like you draw with crayons. Rings in my head daily. So this advice I gave to you, Andrew, a long time ago. I'm glad, man. No, well, because the forums were also subscription based, which I found is not ideal. That's why I've created with the club. I made like a one-time, lifetime thing because that's just better. Because some people can just do that and just not ever worry about it again. Because even with the subscription, I had like a yearly subscription, and I pinged some people like again after the year, and they're just like, "Whoa, I stopped subscribing," and like all that stuff, and I was like, "Oh, that sucks." So I had to like go and refund, and then also get rid of that. And it's just like a lot to manage, and so having the option to just do a subscription or not is what I've done for this. But also the forums were a different thing, and the way to sustain the forums needed to have some subscription to it. So there's none anymore. So basically, I got rid of everybody. I told everybody is like we'll move on to bigger, better pastures. But yeah, that's not available anymore, and so you would have to subscribe to the next and great best thing. But that's it. All right, hey AJ, what's your old paintings look like? Like the first paintings when you were still a beginner. I have one that's on my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, and go find it there. That'll be your mission, Soterio. It was a 2007 version to my 2017 version. Have you tried animating sprites with Spine or Dragon Bones? I'm going to try Dragon Bones because Dragon Bones is free. But Spine and Dragon Bones can create JSON file formats, which are useful because I'm learning JavaScript, and JSON is a JavaScript component, or it's from that world. And so what that will allow me to do, I just got to learn how to read it and use it and call to it because I have no idea. And so I can take like the spine animation and then like manipulate it dynamically, which is really cool. Like for a good example would be like running and shooting in any direction. So like my character would be running, and then if I put my mouse over its head, he would animate with the gun pointing upwards with his legs still running forwards. If that makes sense. But I actually found a really clever solution using 3D. And so I don't know if I'll use them because I can probably just do it all using Maya. Do you think offering a pay what you get or pay what you want digital PDF self-published book would be a viable thing to do? Yeah. Not only just for myself, but for anybody else. I know plenty of people who've done that and done well. Hey man, glad you're digging the game dev side. Want to say thanks for the streams. Good stuff. Yeah, no problem, Kevin. All right, guys. I think that's all the questions. I'll take on
Hey, dude.
any one last question, or is there
Yeah,
any
there's one.
questions on?
A couple of them too, but it's all good.
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go to YouTube then and sort of ask. But normally, if John's not here or I don't have any other moderator, I'm just gonna bounce out, just because I
Tyler
don't.
said the mentorship was the best thing I did. That's for sure.
No, thanks. Is that Tyler Ryan?
Yeah.
My Steve. My Steves, man. I love them.
I think everybody actually jumped in there and asked a question. I thought I
Oh,
saw
did they? Okay, good. That's what I'm hoping, because it makes it easier. Because I'm streaming on all 3 platforms. I don't want to be like bouncing from each and every one of them. Especially if I want to start maintaining that I can do these on my own. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very challenging. It's going to be very challenging to go from YouTube to Facebook to Twitch to see who wrote what. But anyway, all right.
We'll see you next time. You're streaming them pretty often, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stream tomorrow too. Yeah, might not because it's 4th of July and we're having friends
Yeah, I'll
over.
see it happen.
Unless I do it super early
All right, let's do it. I'll
or
wake up
super
early.
late. Super early or
Alright,
super late. Maybe super late.
6 a.m. 6 a.m.
Oh, never mind. Let's do it super late. Forget that. All right, guys. So let me go ahead and do this. Hey, Nick and guys, are you still in here?
Yeah.
Yep, sir.
All right.
Can you
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I can hear you,
Yeah.
Dan. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for hanging out and keeping the conversation lively. It was nice. It was fun.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm gonna bounce out of here.
All right, man. Well,
Pete-
enjoy your 4th of July.
Yeah, peace out to the Twitch fools. Peace
Safe,
out
dude.
to the Facebook fools. Peace out to the YouTube.